Hey my dear friends, welcome to this video. In this video I'm going to teach you how to make this awesome registration, login and forgot password form. In this video, in this part, I will teach you how to design and make the structure of this form, and on the next video we're going to use PHP to give it functionality. So this tutorial is all about how to design this awesome form. As you can see, this registration form, you can enter your email, password, retype your password, first name, last name. These are two radio options, a list of country you select, and few checkbox and a registration button. And if you have an account, you click here, there's a nice pop-up animation, and this is the login form. You can input your email and password and login. If you forgot your password, you can click this forgot password, and here you can enter your email address and a recovery code will be sent to your email address. In this video it doesn't have any functionality yet, but we'll give it functionality on the next video. This video is all about designing this awesome form. So let's get started. First I have to create a folder. I make a folder, I call it form. I open my Visual Studio Code and drag and drop this folder inside it. Once I have done that, I make a file, I call it register.html. This is my register page. Let's load it with live server. If you don't have live server, you can go to the extension, and here you can search for live server in your Visual Code editor, and you can just download the live server. And one more extension you need is the SCSS compiler, okay? Because we use SCSS, you have to use the SCSS compiler. Okay, SCSS compiler. Where it is? There it is. You have to download this live SASS compiler, because we will use SASS, SASS or SCSS. We're gonna use that make life much easier. I don't use CSS, but I use this one, and you will know why once we start building this project. Okay, once you did that, come to your registration page, register.html page, and we start making the structure of our page. If you saw our registration form, we have a box, a container, and inside this container we have few inputs which are in column, and two input which is name and last name, they are in row, and then we have few radio buttons, and then we have a list of selection, and we have two checkbox and a button. So this is all inside a container, and after that we have these links and a footer. Okay, let's start. First of all, we make the basic HTML5 structure. I give it a title, register, and I want to use, because here we use few icons, I want to use the font awesome icon. Go to Google and search for font awesome for CDN, and there you go. You have to go to this cdn.js and copy the tag. Okay, once you copy, come to your page and paste it here. Now we have included the font awesome library. Okay, so let's start the building. Inside the body, the first thing I want to do is to make a wrapper. Okay, a form wrapper. I make a div with the class of form wrapper, and everything will be inside this wrapper. And inside this wrapper, I want to make a form container. Okay, form container, and my form will be inside this one. First I want to give it a title, because there if you see we have a title. So I use h2 and I say register form, and this is my title. Let's run it with the live server to see how my page looks like. This is how it looks right now. Let me divide my screen into half so you can see everything very nicely. and there we go. Now we have a title. After the title, what we got was this inputs. Okay, once I have my title, I want to make let's put this title inside the container. Okay, so let me cat this one and make a div with a class of title container, and I put my h2, the registration form, inside this div. Once I have done that, after that I make another div. I call it this will be a row. Okay, so I give it a class of row, but not just row. I wanna add another class. I call it clear fix. I will later use CSS to give them functionality. Okay, inside this clear fix, inside this row, I make another div. And inside this div I make a form. Okay, and everything will be the inputs, the buttons inside this form. So the first thing I have to do to make inside this form, let me make the font a little bit bigger for you guys so you can see much better. Okay, now much better. Inside this form, first of all, I make a div with the class of input field. Okay, this will be my input field. Okay, inside my input field, first I want to create something like this, an icon and an input box. Okay, how I can do that? I make a span, and inside this span I include my icon. The first icon is this ML icon I want to use. To get that icon, you can go here and search for ML inside the font awesome. You just go to font awesome and search for ML and click the icon you like and just copy this link. Okay, inside my span I paste it. Let's save, and there we go, we have a nice icon. Okay, and I close my span. After the span I want an input, and this will be ML. Okay, I have an input type ML. I give it a name, call it ML, and I don't need an ID. I make a place holder and I say ML, and I want to require this one all the time. Okay, let's save, and there we go, we have an input box with the icon logo. Later we use CSS to give it some nice style. I just copy this one and paste it one more time. This time I want to use another icon. This is this lock, so let me go to my font also and search for lock, and there we go, this is the lock. I use this icon for my password, and there we go, I just copy paste it here. Let's save and see, and there we go, we have this nice icon logo. And I changed my input type to password, and I also changed the name to password and the placeholder to password. Let's save, and there we go, we have now a password field. Okay, so simple till now, right? After that I make another row. I want to make another row, but no, because we have two passwords, we have to retype the password. I copy this one and paste this one more time, and this time I give it a name. I put the name same as password. Okay, this is both password. I just change the placeholder. I call it retype password, and save. There we go, we have this password, retype password. Okay, and after that I want to make this first name and last name, so I need another row for that one. Okay, how you can do that? just like we did before. I make a div, I give it a class, I give it a class of row, and this will be also a clear fix. And inside this div I want to make another div with a class of, I want to make column, okay, column into half. I want to divide my column into half, so I make this class. Later I CSS to divide it. And inside this div I just copy this email and put it here, and I just edit it is type to text and name to name. This will be a name, and I set the placeholder first name. I also want to change its icon to this man icon, something like this, and I think the icon for that one is user, FA user. I change that one. Let's save, and there we go, we have this first name. I need one more. I just copy this one, the input, and from here to here, because this is a half, okay, from here to here I copy this one and paste it one more time, and this time this is, and this is, let's see what it is, this is another, this is last name, so I change the name to last name. I change the placeholder to last name. Okay, let's see how it looks. Yeah, it looks nice. Okay, this is my div and div for clear row. Okay, after that I make another div. I give it a class of input field, because this is also an input field, but it also have another class which is let's see what it is. This is this radius, okay, to radius. So I give it a class, I call it radio option, and inside this div we make those two radio buttons. So I make an input, I give it the type of radio, and I give it a name, and let's give it the name of radio, maybe radio group 1, something like that. The ID is important. I give it a rd1 radio button 1. Okay, and I have to give it a label, so I give it a label and I say mail, and this will be for rd1. Let's save, and there we go, we have mail. Just copy this one and paste it, and just change its ID to 2, rd2, and this time I say female, and for rd2. Let's save, and we have the radio option to select between male and female. Okay, after this one we make another div with a class of input field, because this is also another input field. We can do it like that, input field. Okay, and there we have a list, okay, a list of countries. So I give it a class, I give the class of select option, something like that, select option, and inside this div I make a select. Okay, I make a select, and I didn't need the name at the moment, or maybe give it a name of country, and I give it an ID. The ID is very important. Okay, the ID is important. I call it select country. The ID is important, and inside this select I make an option. I say, I don't give it a value because this is the default. I say select a country, select a country. Let's save, and there we go, we have a list of select, but we doesn't have the list of the country. How we can do that? That's why I said this ID is very important, because the list of country comes from the JavaScript. Okay, I have shown this in many of my videos how you can do that, so I won't waste time in this video. I just show you. If you go to my channel, and there you see I have a video about import JS object to HTML element. There I show you how you can import a list of country or whatever, a list inside your HTML by using JavaScript. And if you check the videos, I have done that in my so many videos. For example, in this how to make currency exchange, I show you how to do that. And in my a lot of my videos I have showed that is very easy, not something to be worried. And I won't do that in this video because it will make the video very long. Okay, so how we can import the list of country? I make another file, I call it country.js, and I paste this code. This is the code which will import the countries for you. You see there, I will explain it how it works. I made a variable called select, and I select that select country, this select, okay, but I select that one by ID. And I have another variable which is countries, and this is an array of name of all countries, and we use a for loop to loop through all of these countries. And what we did, we just put that country names inside the select country inside my list on the HTML page. That's not something hard. If you read the code and there's explanation for that one, you will understand what is going on. Just paste this code, save, and here we have to import that JS. So before the body, just say script, and the source is country, the name of that JavaScript file, save. And if we save that one, and there you go, you see we have now the list of all countries inside our select box. Once we have created the select box, after that we have to create the, let's see what we have to create. We have to create this checkboxes. Okay, how we can do that? I make another div with a class of input field, the class of input field, but this has another class also which is checkbox and checkbox option. Inside this div I make an input, the type is checkbox, okay, the type is checkbox. I give it an ID of CB1, checkbox 1, and I will make checkbox 2 also. Okay, after that I also want to make a label for this one. This label is for CB1, and I say I agree, whatever you can write here, agree with terms and conditions. I just copy this one and paste it one more time, and then this time I change the ID to CB2, and for CB2 I change the text also. Maybe I can say I want to receive the newsletter. Let's save, and there we go, we have to checkbox with the text. And the last thing we have to do is, not the last but least, I make an input, and this will be a button, okay, sorry, a submit button. So the type is submit, and I give it a class. The class will be button, and I give it a value register, and there we go, we have a button which have a value of register. After this we have another div, I give it a class of extra links. Inside this extra links I make a tag which will go to login.html, which we will make it in a moment, and I give it a class, maybe custom link, and I say have an account login. Okay, let's save, and there we go, we have that one also, and our form is completed. After closing all of these div, at the very bottom I make a p tag, and I give it a class, let's give it a class. I say credit. Okay, this is the credit, and inside this P I say developed by, and I make a tag. I say Ali Aslan. I can link it to a website, but I don't at the moment. Let's save. Let's add the more functionality, which is target. If there is a link, it will open in blank. And there we go, we have a footer also. Okay, that's too much. The structure is completed. Now I need to make a CSS file. So I make a new file. I call it style dot, not CSS, but this is SCSS. I want to use SCSS because it makes our work much faster, and you will see why. But because once we compile the SCSS, it will automatically generate a style.css file for us. So inside our register.html file, we have to link that style.css. Here you shouldn't link like this, okay? It doesn't work, because once you compile that SCSS, it will generate this CSS file. So we link that one. We'll make the code for style in a moment, but before doing that, I want to make my registration at the login page also. So I make another file. I call it login.html. I just copy all of this code from the register and paste it in here. But I have to modify a few things. Okay, for the, let's save. And this is my login page. Inside the login page, I don't need a lot of things. Let me make a font a little bit small because you can see everything. Now you can say I don't need everything in here. I just need the email and password. Okay, I need this and this. So I want to remove this retype password. I remove this name and last name. I remove the radio, the list of country, the checkbox. Let's save, and we have just email, password, and I change the value of my button to login. And inside the extra link, I make another link also. I have an account. I call this one create a new account, and here I can say forgot password, and I link this one to forgot.html. Let's save, and there we go. Okay, that's enough for my login page. I just copy this code, and once more I make another file. I call it forgot.html. I paste this one. Oh, sorry, for the login I have to change the title to login instead of register. Okay, inside my forgot, now if I go to my forgot, I just paste the code from my login.html. I change the title to forgot password, and here I also change forgot password. And for the forgot password, I just need the email, I don't need the password. And I change the button to send code. It's maybe send reset code. Or send code is good. And I want to link them to create a new account or to login. And I change this one to login. Okay, that's too much for structure. Now we have the structure for login, register, forgot password. Okay, why it doesn't work? Let me go to my login. Okay, yeah, create an account should go to register.html, and there we go. Now it's time to design and give it a style. Okay, inside my style.css, this is where the magic comes. The SCSS or sauce in short, well, what it does, it gives you a few functionality. The first one is you can make variables. Okay, for example, I want to use a color everywhere. I don't need to write that color every time again and again. I can make a variable, and I can use that variable every time I want. That make our life much easier, much faster and much easier. Okay, I wanna use a library. I want to use the Google font library, and here I just copy that one from my codes. Okay, I just paste the Google font library URL, and I'm also going to use this font, family font. So I make a body. Inside this body, the code is same as CSS. Okay, so there's nothing to worry about. I imported the Google font, and I set the font family to this font family I want to use. I set the font size to 14 pixel. Also want to give it a background color of F2, F2, F2. And let's go to my page. Okay, you can't see anything yet because you have to compile this SCSS file before you can see anything. How you can do that? Once you install that live source compiler, there you have a function, a button, you see watch source. If I click that one, if you can see, it generated a file called style.css. Now it's working. Every time you make a change, you have to compile this file. Once you click save, it will automatically compile it for you. Okay, and that's simple, right? Okay, and why I use source for this video? This is the reason. I can make a variable. I use a $sign, I call it yellow, and I gave a color for this one. I gave it a color 06 C59C. This is a color, a green kind of color, but I don't want to write this color name every time again and again. I can just use this $yellow, and there I have this color. And I want to use another, I make another color, I call it black, and I use 000000, and I use another variable, and this will be my gray color, gray, and this is CC, and there I go. Now instead of writing this codes again and again, I can just write $yellow, $black, $gray. That's really powerful, right? Okay, after the body, if I go to my register.html file, I have the form wrapper, etc. I have this clear fix. I have to make that one first. So let me select the clear fix by class, and there's another power of source. Inside attack, you can use the after and before inside that thing. How you can do that? I just say and after. In CSS you write them in separate line, but in SAS you can do this inside the tag is selected. Okay, the class is selected. And after, what I want to make a content, an empty content, and I want to display block. I give it a clear boat, and I want to change the visibility to hidden. I want to make this one because I want to give it that function, that pop-up animation. Okay, I set the height to 0. Okay, as you can see, when every time I save, it automatically update this style.css. You see, this is what I mean. In CSS you make the your class and use after or before, but in SAS you can do this inside the thing you want. That make it really a little bit easier to do. Okay, and after that, the most important thing, which is the form wrapper. I want to select my form wrapper by the class, and I give it a background color. Let's give it a background of white. and let me give it a width. Where it is, width 400 pixel, and I give it a max width 100%. I change the box sizing to border box. I give it a padding 25 pixel, and I also want to give it a margin. I give it 8% margin and auto and 0. This is for 8%. Top, right, and bottom. After that, I want to change it to position to relative, and I want everything to be at the top, so I give it a z index of 1, and I give it a border top. I want to give the border top 5 pixel solid, and here you see I don't write a color there. I made a color, this color there. Oh, this is not yellow, I can call it green. I want to use this green color in here. How I can do that? I just type dollar green. Instead of writing everything again and again, I can use the variable name, and there you see we have a top border with that awesome color. That's the power of SOS or SCSS. Okay, one more thing I want to use is the WebKit, and from the WebKit I want to use the box shadow. Where it is, box shadow, where it is, why I don't have the box shadow suggestion. Okay, no problem. WebKit box shadow, and I give it 0 0 3 pixel, and I give it a color of RGB 0 0 0 and 0.1. I have a nice shadow. As you can see, I have a nice shadow. Okay, after that I want to use the mouse. From the mouse I want to use it is box shadow. Why I don't have the shadow suggestion? Okay, no problem. And I give it 0 0 3 pixel. If you don't know what a box shadow, etc., I have a separate video about it inside my channel. You can watch that one. Okay, I want to use RGBA and 0 0 0 0.1, and let's save. Now we have a nice shadow on my container. After that I want to use the box shadow itself, box shadow. There we have it, and I can just copy this. Okay, let's save it. Okay, after the box shadow I want to use the WebKit, and from WebKit I want to use transform, not transform but transform origin. Okay, and here I want to set it to 15% and 0%. Okay, what's wrong? WebKit, transform origin, everything is okay. After that I set it as transform origin, transform origin, and I set it as same as this one. Okay, after that I want to use the WebKit. It's a little bit boring, but I will explain once I finished what are these things. I'm gonna use the WebKit, and this time I use the transform, and I change the scale to, I want to give it a 3D scale, so scale 3D, and I give it 1 1 1. And after that I want to transform this one, transform to scale 3D, and I set it to 1 1 1. And after that I want to use the WebKit, and from the WebKit I select transition. Where it is, there it is, WebKit transition. I set it to none. Okay, I also want to use the transition itself, transition, and put it to none. Okay, let's after that I want to use the WebKit, and from the WebKit I use animation, and from the animation I just use animation. Okay, and I want to use the expand, which will be created later. 0.8 second, 0.6 second, ease and out, ease out, and forward. And after that I use animation, and I copy this thing and paste it here, the same thing. And at the last thing I make the opacity to 0. Okay, what was this long thing? This is for that animation. Here you can see, if I load the page, there we have this animation. This code is for that one, so we put a default scale, transform, animation, and etc. We put a default values, and then we used animation to run this expand animation, which we will create it in a moment. And we also changed the opacity to 0, so we can't see anything at the moment, but whenever the pages loaded, we will run this expand animation, and it will take 0.38 and 0.6 seconds to load this animation, this awesome animation. We'll create this expand with the keyframe. For now, this is how our form looks like. It doesn't have that animation, that's why there's nothing to say. Okay, I hope you guys understand what is this. Okay, for now I change the opacity to 1 so you can see what is going on, but later I change it back to 0 because we use animation to change it back to 1. Okay, enough talking. After this I want to make inside this form wrapper, I don't need to make another tag. Inside this one I can give a style to my h2, that's the title, right? And I select my h2 and I give it a font size 1.5 em, and I also want to give it a line height of 1.5, the same thing. Okay, 1.5 em, and I set the margin to 0. Okay, this is our, okay, this is not 11, this is 1.5, and there we go, we have the style for our title, which is h2. And after that I select my, let's see what we got, the title container by class, and I give it a text align. I want to put everything at the center, and I also want to give it a padding at the bottom. I want to give a padding to bottom to make it a little bit higher than the form, so I give it 15 pixel, and there we go, that looks real nice right now. And after that we have, okay, that's good. And in case if I use h3, let's give a design to my h3 also. I change the font size to 1.1 em. I change the font weight to normal, and also change the line height, same as, not same, but this time 1.5 em, and also put the margin to 0. Okay, after the h3 I have the labels. Okay, these labels, let's give a design for my label. I select my label and I change the font size to 12 pixel. Okay, let's save, and as you can see, and now we have design for our labels. Okay, after the label, what we got, let's see, then we have this row. Let's design the row. So I select row. I think label is wrong because it didn't change label. Yeah, I spelled that wrong. Now it should change. Okay, now it's working, but I have to give the row some style. Let's give the row a margin. I gave it 10 pixel and minus 50 pixel. Let's save, and there we go. But that's not what I want. But in SASS you have more functionality. From the row I want to select the div. You can select everything, every div inside that one, and give style to that one. That's really cool, right? So what I want to select, give it a padding 0 and 50 pixel. And what more I want to change it box sizing to border box. Let's save, and there we go. We have rows. You see, this is one row, this is another row, and just like that. For using SASS you can do these cool things. Okay, after the row I want this name and last name to be in half of a row, and I already made a class of half a row. Where it is, there it is, call half, column half. Okay, how I can do that? Okay, let me close my row, and here I select my column half, and I give it a weight 50%. So this is a half of the weight, and I change the float to left. Now let's save, and there we go. Now my name and last name are in half. They are like columns, 2 columns in a row. Okay, after that I have the input field. Where it is, this input field. Let's give some style to my input field, selected by class, and inside this one, first I change its position. I put position to relative. I change the position to relative, and let's give it a margin. Let's give it a margin at the bottom. Okay, not margin itself, but a margin at the bottom, and I give it 20 pixel. Let's save and see how it looks. Yeah, now we have margin, but I want a few more things. I want to use the WebKit. So WebKit, and from the WebKit I use animation, because I want some animation in this one also. Which animation? I want to use an animation called bounce, which I make it later, and it will last 0.6 second. Is out. Okay, not just that, I have to make the animation itself, and just copy this one and paste it in here. Okay, from this input field I want to select the span. If you saw that this icon is inside in a span, I want to select the span. How I can do that? Very easily. I want to select every span just like that with a div. We did with a div. Okay, and what I want to give it a position of absolute, and I want to change it to the left. I want to position it to left and top 0, and also want to give it a color. Which color? $333, and I want to change it as high to 100%, and I want to give it a border to this right, border right 1 pixel, solid, and there we use a color from the top, which is the gray color. I want to use that gray color. Okay, I want to align everything at the center, so pixel line will be center. I also want to give it a width, maybe 30 pixel, and I want to select from the span itself. I want to select that I tag. Okay, this one I can do that very easy. Inside this one I select this I. Now let's give some style to this one. You can see the SASS or SCSS make the life much easier. 10 pixel. Let's save, and there we go. Okay, we'll fix that one. Okay, that is enough. Okay, this is our span, and this is our input field. After the input field we have what we got. We have the text area field. Okay, the text area field. So I select the text area field. Oh, I want to select this one by class, and from this one I want to select the span, and let's give some functionality to this one. I select I. From the span I select I, and I want to give it a padding to the top 10 pixel. Okay, now yeah, they are a little bit better, but not really better. Okay, no problem. If once I change the input, given design to input, everything will be nice and beautiful. Okay, so let's select the inputs and give some design to that one. I select input and let's give design to our input. Here I can say and what I want to select the type. Okay, the type, whenever the type is text, and I copy this one and I can paste it here, and type is email, and I get comma, and when type is password. Okay, and type equal to text, and type equal to email, and type equal to password. Whenever type are equal to these things, I want to give them some design. First I want to set the weight to 100%. I want to give them a padding 8 pixel for the top, 10 pixel to the right, 9 pixel to the bottom, and 35 pixel to the left. Let's save, and there we go. I told you it will be nice. Now they are really nice and cool. Okay, let's change it as height. I want to give it a height of maybe 25 pixel, 25 pixel. I want to give it a border 1 pixel solid, and I want to use that gray color, so I use my variable name called $gray. Let's change the box sizing to border box, and I want to remove the outline, so I set the outline to none, and let's save, and there we go. They are really nice. Now we have a nice form, right? The inputs are looking really nice, but because we created that animation on the first, we have to add few WebKit transition animation, etc., so which apply in this one also. So I use WebKit animation. No, WebKit. First I wanna set the transition. It will be applied to all 0.3 second, and it will be is and out. Okay, WebKit transform. What's wrong? WebKit not transform. This is transition. WebKit transition. WebKit transition all 0.3 second is and out. After that I want to use most for, which is for Mozilla, and transition, and this will be all. Just copy this one, just copy paste. Okay, and after that I use the MS transition. Where it is? Transition MS transition, and just paste that one. And after that I use the transition itself and apply that. The same thing, this is for every type of browser. Okay, after the input, select type. After that I wanna say and in what, and whenever the type is text and I wanna give a design when it's hover, so I select all of these things, I paste it here. I just add hover on them, so dot hover. Now this design is for the hover. Paste it here and here, and inside the bracket I want to change the background to this color, FA. Let's save. Oh, not dollar. Now it looks good. Okay, you see, if you can see the background change its color a little bit. Okay, and what now I want to also add another functionality, which is focus. So I select them again and add them again. Now I want to say focus. Just copy this one, put it for email and password also. Okay, and on focus, what I want to use the WebKit, and from the WebKit I want to use the box shadow. I want to give a shadow to it, okay, and this will be 002 pixel, 1 pixel, RGBA 255 169 and 0, and the opacity will be 0.5. okay, let's save, and there we go. When I hover, you see there we have opacity. I wanted the same thing for Mozilla, so use mouse box shadow, just paste the same code, okay, and after that I want to put the box shadow normal one and I put the same code. okay, I want to give it a I want to change it to border also, 1 pixel solid in that green color, and after that I want to send the background to back, where it is, background, and I set this one to FA, and there we go. Now we have a nice color when I hover, right? If you didn't like the color, you can change them as you want. okay, after that I want to give some design to my button, the submit button. How you can do that, you say end, and I want to select type, the type, whenever the type is submit, I want to select this one, and I want to give it a design. okay, so I set the background of my button $green. I want to give a height 35 pixel. I want to give it a line height of 35 pixel, and I want to also change the width to 100%. I want to set the border to none. I want to set the outline to none also, and I change the cursor to pointer, and I change the color. okay, what's wrong? I want to change the color to white, and I also want to change the font size to 1.1 em, and I want to change the margin, maybe the bottom margin. I give some margin to the bottom, 10 pixel, and now I want to give it an transition, okay, because I want to use hover or focus on that one. So how you can do that, I use the transition all 0.3 second ease and out. I want to make sure this applies to every browser, so I use WebKit. From the WebKit I want to select the transition, and I apply this one. I also want to use the Mozilla transition and apply the same code, and one more time for MS transition. I don't have suggestions, so I put it by myself. okay, and that's it. Now I have a nice button. After that, what I want to give it hover. You can use it inside this one, okay, just say hover, and whenever it is hover, I want to change the background color to darken. I want to darken that green color, so select that green color. okay, where it is, green color, and I set it 7%. Now if I save, let's wait for the compiler to finish. okay, why doesn't work? Let me see. Okay, after this end you have to put this 2 dot, because it says now when hover. okay, let's save it again, and there we go. Now our button have a transition. Also want to put one more end, is this end, and what on focus. What I want on the focus, I want to change the background. I want to set the background. I want the same thing, so just copy this one and paste it here. okay, once the button is finished, the submit button is finished. okay, I wanna I want to select the type checkbox. I want to give some design to the checkbox, and when the type is equal to not checked but checkbox. Okay, whenever the type is equal to checkbox, and also whenever the type is equal to, let's copy this one, whenever the type is equal to radio. I want to give design to both of them. Okay, what's the problem? Type is equal to checkbox and type is equal to radio. Let's give it a border of 0, and I want to change this clip rectangle, and I want to put it to 0 0 0 0, and I also want to give it a height 1 pixel. I want to give the margin, this will be a -1 pixel, and let's change the overflow to hidden, and what else I need to remove the padding, so I put the padding to 0. I change its position to absolute, and I give it a weight 1 pixel. Let's save and see how our thing looks. Okay, they're gone, but no worries, we will make them later in the code. Okay, so no worries. Okay, after this is all the code for the form wrapper. Okay, this is all for the form wrapper. After that, I want to select my form container, this one, the form container. I want to select the form container, and inside the form container I want to select my row again, and from the row I want to select my column half, and I want to use the last of that one, so just say dot last. What I want on the last one, I want to give it a border, a left border 1 pixel, solid, in that gray color, $gray. Okay, and now we have a little bit left border for our last column. Okay, so our checkbox and radio are gone, but I have to design them from scratch. Now I'm gonna do that. How to do that? It's very easy. I know the video became really long, but the goal of this channel is to explain you every line of code, so I have to make it last long. I know it's boring, but if you want to learn something very deep, this is how it should be. Okay, after the form container I have that, let's see what we got. I have this this checkbox options. Okay, this checkbox option, let's make those checkbox. Okay, how we can do that? Select checkbox option by class, and inside this one I want to select its label. And let's give some design to the checkbox label, these checkbox labels. Okay, first let's give it a margin. I want to give it a margin to the right, and I set it to 1 em. Then I want to change its position to relative, and then I want to add before and after. I can do that very easily. Here just use and inside this and, all you need to do is to say before what you want. I want to make an empty content box, and after that I want to display everything in line block. Okay, and after that, okay my friends, after I set the display to inline, now I have to change the weight So I want to change the weight to 0.5 em. Okay, because this is really small, this is the checkbox, and I set the height to 0.5 em, and I say the margin right. Okay, wait, it's margin right. I set the margin right to 0.5 em. I change the vertical align minus 2 pixel, and I change the border 2 pixel solid, and I use the gray color, not green but gray. I change the padding 0.12 em. I change the background color. I want to put the background transparent. Okay, I see the background transparent, and I change the background clip, where it is, the background clip content box. And after that I also set a transition for this one, so everything will be smooth. 0.2 second ease. Okay, after I have done the before, now time to do after and after. Okay, there's a problem. Remember to put this 2 dot after the end, and this will be after, not like that, like this, after. Okay, let me remove the one. And after, what I want to change the border right, 2 pixel solid and $black. I want a black color for this one, and I change the border top to 2 pixel solid $black, and I make a content, an empty content for this one. And after the content, I wanna give it a height 20 pixel, and also I want to put the position, the left position 2 pixel, and I have to put the position first to absolute, and after that I put the top 7 pixel. And let's transform this one, transform, and I want to change the scale. From the transform, I want to select the scale X, and I set it to -1, and also want to change the rotate, and this will be 135 degree. Okay, and also let me change the transform origin, and I set it to left top. Okay, left top, and let's also change the width. I want to change it to 7 pixel, and I want to display none. Let's save and see how it works. And there we have a nice checkbox, but it doesn't do anything. We just make it in a moment. Okay, after this I want to select the input, and from the input I want to select whenever it's hover, and also whenever it's hover I want to select the label before. I want to change the label before whenever it is hover. I want to change its border color to black. Okay, and I want to do one more thing, and whenever it is checked, where it is, whenever it is checked, what I want to change the label. What I want to select the before, and I want to inside the before I want to change its background color to black. Okay, color to black. One more thing I want to change is I want to select and when it is in after, and from the after I wanna do few things. I wanna give it animation. And what I want play this check animation. Whenever I press this check, I want animation. Okay, a check will be dropped. Okay, so that will be done inside the check, which we make it in a moment, and this will last 0.8 second, and it will be ease and 0 second running. This will be like that. I want to do the same thing for the Mozilla Moz animation, and also for WebKit, which is for Chrome. WebKit animation. Okay, I do this in case if it doesn't work on any browser, it should work for all browsers. Okay, I want to display everything in a block. I want to give it a width 7 pixel and height 20 pixel, and I want to change the border color to black. Okay, as you can see, we have this checkbox. You see, we have this checkbox, which we doesn't have animation right now because we have to create this check animation, and that will be a nice check animation. We will do that in a moment, no worries. But before doing that, we didn't give any style to our radio options, so we have to do that. So how we can do that? I want to select my radio. Let me see what's the class name for the radio options. Okay, I want to select this radio option, and from this radio option I want to first give some style to its label. So first I want to set its margin right to 1 em, and I want to draw a few things for this one. So I use before, and inside before I use the empty content, and okay, and after that I want to display everything in line block, and after that let's give it a width 0.5 em. I give it a height 0.5 em. I want to give it a margin right. Margin right will be 0.5 em, and let's see how it looks. Okay, after that I give the border radius of 100%. Also want to give it a vertical line, which will be minus 3 pixel, and let's give it a border, and the border will be 2 pixel solid, and this will be gray. Okay, and after that I want to give it a padding 0.15 em, and let's give the background color transparent. The background should be transparent. I also want a background clip to be the content box. Okay, and let's give it a transition, which will be for all 0.2 second pace. And let's see, this is our checkbox, radio box, sorry. They look nice, but you can select them. We will make them clickable in a moment. Okay, after the label, I want to select the input itself, and inside this one I want to say whenever I hover, I want to change the label before. Okay, I want to change the label before whenever I hover on that checkbox input. What I want to change the border color to black, and after that I want to say whenever I checked what I want to change the label before. What I want to change is background color. I change the background color to black, and I also want to change the border color to black. Okay, as you can see, whenever I hover, the background color changes, and whenever I check, there's a black color inside. Okay, now we have a nice design for our radio. After that, we didn't apply any design for our selection. It's time to do that. Let's say where's the selection. Here it is, select option. I want to select the select option by class, and inside this one I want to set position to relative. I want to give it a width of 100%, and from the select I want to select the select itself. Okay, I want to select the select, and inside the select I want to display everything in line block, and I want to give it a width. Width will be 100%. I want to give it height 25 pixel. Let's give it a padding 0 pixel at the top and 15 pixel at the right. Okay, let's change the cursor to pointer, and after that let's change its color to 7B, and I also want to change the border 1 pixel bullet solid, and it will be gray. Okay, and after that I want to change the border radius. This will be 0. I don't want any radius. I want to change its background to white. Okay, white. And after that I want to change this appearance to none. And let's give it a transition. The transition will be for all, and it will last 0.2 second in ease. Copy this one. Let's in case do it for WebKit. WebKit appearance. Yeah, this WebKit appearance I have to put it to none, and also want to change the mouse web appearance. Appearance, and I set them to none. Okay, now I have a nice selection, right? Yeah, they are nice selection, but I want some more things. Let's say and what, and ms expand. When it expands, what I wanna display none. Okay, and after that what I wanna give some design to this hover. When it is hover, and also when it is on focus. Okay, focus. What I want to give it some design. I want to change the color to black, the background color to FA, and the border color to black, and also I remove the outline, so I set it to none. And let's save, and there we go. This looks really nice, right? Now I have some kind of design when I hover. Okay, but there is something else. Okay, let's give some design to the selection arrow. So I select arrow, and I want to put its position to absolute. I want to change it to stop, so I use calculate 15%, and minus, I want to minus this one to 4 pixel, and let's put the right 15 pixel. Let's put the weight to 0, the height to 0, and pointer events I set this one to none. Okay, I want to give the border width 8 pixel, 5 pixel, and 0 and 5 pixel, and I want to change the border style to solid. I also want to give a border color to 7B, and this will be transparent transparent, transparent. Okay. Okay. Looks good. Okay, after the select arrow, what I want to give some design to the select itself. So how I can do that? From the select option, I want to select the select itself, and let's apply a few design. First is when it's hover. So hover and plus when it's hover, I want to select this select arrow class and select arrow and comma, and I also want to select that one on focus. So on focus I want to select the select arrow class, and let's do something. What I want to set the border, not the border radius, the border top color. The border top color, I want to set that one to black. Let's save. And okay, when I'm out of focus, you see the color change, but when I focus, the color is black. Okay, and we have this credit. Let's select that credit. I want to set its position to relative. Okay, I want to change it to z index to 1, and let's align the text, so text line to the center, and maybe give it a padding 15 pixel, and also want to change its color to that green color, and let's select this A tag, and I change this color to darken green. Okay, darken green, and I set the amount to 7%, and there we go. We have a nice credit, but that's not enough. We need to design this extra links also, because in login page there is 2 of this, you see. We want to design that one. So how you can do that? I have to select that extra link, where it is. There it is. Extra link is inside the div, so I select that one by class, and I give it some design. First I want to display everything to be flex, and I want to justify content to the center. No, not center, but space between, and now they looks really nice. Okay, and I want to select this custom link, and I want to remove the text decoration. I set it to none, and I also want to change the font size to small, and let's give it a color 333, and let's give it a transition all 0.4 second is, and there you go. That looks really nice, but let's give it a hover. Okay, when it is hover, I want to change this color to 7B. Okay, let's save, and there we go. Now we have design for all of our pages. This really looks nice, but we don't have that animation, this animation. Okay, we want to create that one. If you remember, we made 3 animation. The first one was expand. We got the expand, and what was the other one? Oh, bounce. We have to create those animation, the expand and the bound. So let's do it. The first one was the Oh, but before doing that, I didn't create the animation for this checkbox. We have to do that first. Okay, it goes really complicated, right? Let's select the WebKit keyframes for check. For check, I want to use a keyframe. Okay, what I want in 0, when animation is start, I want to set the height to 0, and I also want to set the width to 0, but when animation reach to 25%, I want to change the weight to 7 pixel, and when animation reach to 15%, I want to change the height 20 pixel and the weight 7 pixel. Let's save this one and see if it works. And there we go. We have that cool animation, you see, on the checkbox. That's how you can make your own keyframes with the SCSS. Okay, now it's time to make the expand. So I use add WebKit keyframes. This is for expand. And how expand works? So it's very easy. We use a scale to expand something. So in the very beginning, I want the WebKit transform. I want to use the scale 3D, and I want to set everything to 1, 0, and 1. I also want to change the opacity to 0. But when our animation reaches to 25%, I want to change the scale to 1.2 maybe, and we'll remove the opacity. I don't want to change opacity here. And when our animation reaches 15%, I want to change the scale a little bit more. This will be 1, and this will be 0.85, and I don't need opacity for this one also. But when our animation reaches 75%, I want the scale to be 1 and 1.05. You can choose your own size and etc. And I don't need opacity for now. I need opacity at the end. Okay, so when it is 100%, what I want a fully scale, so all of them are 1, 1, 1, and I change the opacity to 1. So what does it start very small and became big, and again small and big, and again on the normal size. Okay, there we go. You see, there we have that expand animation. That looks nice, right? But because we set the opacity to 1, there I told you I will change this one again to 0. It should be 0, and now we have that nice expand animation. You see, that's really cool. Okay, and what more thing we need is we can add a little bit more, maybe change the transform, etc. But I think that's enough because it will become really hard. Okay, and I also had the animation for the bounce. Let's make that bounce. I use add WebKit keyframe, and that was bounce. Okay, and for bounce, what I want in the 0%, what I want to use the WebKit transform. I want to use the translate 3D. I want to set the value to 0, minus 25 pixel, and 0. I also want to use the transform. I want to translate 3D, and I set the same values. And I also need to set the opacity to 0. Opacity to 0. I copy this one and paste it one more time, and this is for 25%. On the 25%, I want to change the translate. I set it to 0, and this time I want to set it to 10 pixel to make kind of bouncing. And let's change this one also 10 pixel. And I don't need any opacity for this one because I need it at the end. Okay, and now for the 15%, for the 50%, I want to change this one to a little bit small. Now it became small, and I have to do this for this one also, -6. On the 75%, what I want to make it again bigger, so I change it to maybe 2 pixel, and this one also 2 pixel. Okay, on the last, once it's finished, on the 100, what I want everything to be set to default to 0. And let's change the opacity also, opacity to 1. And there we go, we have a nice bouncing. You see, we have a nice bouncing. But now let's make it a little bit mobile friendly. So I use media and max width. When the max width is smaller than 600 pixel, I want to change few things. First, from the form wrapper, I want to change the size of form wrapper. I change it as width to 100%, and I want to float to none. Okay, this is the first thing I want to change, but I want to change from the form wrapper. Let's cut this one. From the form wrapper, I want to select the column half, and I want to make them into new rows. That's how we change the weight to 100. Okay, and after that, I want to select the bottom row, and from this one I select the column half. I change its width to 15%, and I want to float this one to left. Okay, and after that I want to select the form container, and from the form container I want to select the row, and from the row I select column half, and the last of this one, I want to set it as left border to none. Okay, and then I wanna and that's enough. I think that's enough. Let's change it to mobile size, and yeah, it is mobile friendly. Okay, and that's it, my friends. Let's test the login page, and there we go, a nice animation. Let's check the forgot password, and here we go. Everything works cool and great and nice. We can select country, we have male, female, we have checkbox with animation, and etc. So we have completely made a form, a registration, a login, a forgot password design with the HTML and SCSS. I hope you guys learned something in this video, and I hope you learned about SCSS or SAS in this video. You saw that make our life much easier. On the next video I will give it functionality. I will use PHP and MySQL to store the values inside the database, and then we can log in, and we can also use the forgot password. For that I use the library called PHP mailer, and we will do those things step by step, and later we will make dashboard. And if you want me to continue this series of videos, just let me know at the comment below. And if you like this video, make sure to share with your friends, like, subscribe, and have fun, my friends. Have a great time.